welcome to our podcast today. I'm Amy.
And I'm Kirsty.
And we are the Art of Decluttering.
And we have a freebie for you today.
Free podcast episode.
Wow.
Not to declutter though, because we're going to encourage you to declutter a whole lot of free stuff. There's some free stuff that's got value though.
Like our podcast, weekly podcast, is free.
It's totally free.
And it's not clutter.
Well, if you download our podcast onto your phone and it's taking up space, I recommend that you go back and undownload. Is that just delete? I don't know. The episodes that you've listened to.
Unless you are one of our mega fans and listen to them over and over and over again, like some of our reviewers have said they do.
It's true.
So if you're one of them, you don't have to declutter. Declutter something else.
Well, we're going to give you plenty of options.
No, I meant like declutter another podcast
that
you don't ever listen to anymore because you're so busy listening to the Art of Decluttering.
So the kind of things we're talking about today is stuff that you've acquired or perhaps that you're tempted to acquire just because it's free and not because you actually need it. My 11-year-old went to the cricket. He's a massive cricket fan, as is your 10-year-old. And he went to the cricket on Friday night with my dad and Cal and came home with a whole lot of freebie clutter that the Melbourne Renegades gave out to all their fans. So he got like these sleeves that you pull up.
I saw them.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're like little tattoos.
Tats.
Yeah,
tat
he pulls
sleeves.
these sleeve things up. He's got these things that you
whacking
blow
sticks.
up, whacking sticks. He gracefully, thankfully, left the bucket hat at the cricket.
Yeah.
Didn't bring that one home. What else did he get?
The problem is going to the Renegades game.
Oh, you Melbourne Stars.
Yes.
Do not talk to Elijah about that. He'll be devo because Renegades did not have a great
Stars won.
BBL season.
I know.
I know.
I know what I'm going to do when I get back to your
Don't.
house.
He will
pour more dip all over the couch.
Yeah, it's not going to be pretty. So he brought home clutter.
Yes.
But beautifully, I said to him yesterday, hey, are you going to need these or can I take them to the op shop? And he said, oh, you can take them to the op shop. I said, maybe next time don't bring home extras. Because he was like, it's free. Of course I need like 3 sets of these wacky together sticky things. Yeah, so they're at the op shop now.
Yes.
What kind of freebie clutter do your kids accumulate?
Well, there's freebie clutter, like, party bags from Christmas, from parties, like... And that's freebie clutter because you didn't pay for it. You only bought a present in exchange for it.
Yes.
And my kids are pretty, like we went to BBL too, but we left everything there. I think we may have brought home the clapping sticks, but that's recyclable paper or not recyclable, but it's paper, they were, anyway, I can't, it's a visual thing.
Yep, okay. Game of charades going on in here.
But we left the bucket hats there and the Sydney Thunder weren't as desperate to give away their stuff.
Okay.
Having a big dig at the Melbourne Renegades, gone from top of the...
Alrighty.
Top
Do you know what? Take it out on me.
To the bottom of the ladder.
I know.
Can you tell that we're cricketing mums?
Yes, we are.
Our boys are obsessed.
They are today spending the day playing cricket together. They wanted to play cricket outside, but it's really smoky here, and so they weren't. Like, Elijah's asthma restricts them from going outside for too long. So they set up the old school game of test match, and they were playing that on the kitchen table. Cal sent us a photo before, saying the boys have found an alternative to playing cricket outside.
Yes.
It's pretty
and
beautiful.
They're probably watching catch-up BPL.
Yep. Yes, they will be.
So, but there is lots of freebie clutter, and I'm sure our listeners can think of some of them.
Yeah. Ushies, little Coles minis, even those stupid plant water the things from Woolies.
Don't get me started.
They did not survive. I just picked them up all around clients' houses. This is my soapbox, and I choose to stand on it.
I'm there with you.
Stop giving away free crap to get people to come into your shop. It is ridiculous. It is such a waste of resource. Guess what, Coles and Woolies? I need milk regardless of whether you're going to give me some piece of plastic that's going to end up in landfill.
For 1,000 years.
So let me just come and buy my milk and stop trying to...
Just say no.
It's ridiculous. I say no, but I want everyone to say no.
I know.
It's absolutely ridiculous. It's no better when you give out, no, that's not true. It is better when they give out those little seedling things that you put water in. That's better because the actual product will recycle, will just break down.
Yes.
But it's still rubbish. It's still free rubbish. None of them last. I literally have not seen one last.
I have. My aunt has grown lettuce.
Good on her.
Yes. But you have to be loving and attentive towards it.
We're paying for it anyway.
I know. It's not.
It's so ridiculous.
So that is our thing. Freebie clutter. Freebie clubber. Freebie clutter is never actually free.
Ever.
Ever free. Ever free. It costs you money. It's built into the price of your milk.
Yep.
Or your bread.
Yep.
Or your whole
everything.
Woolies, Coles thing. What else is freebie clutter though? Roadside Collections.
I used to be a sucker for this.
Yes. And that's
Did you?
So no.
Okay. You're a bit more highbrow than I am.
Well, just because I have I'm not very crafty, so I could never think of upcycling. I'm not a real big upcycler in any shape, form or way. And
it's actually way, shape or form, just for everyone that was like, she said that backwards.
Yeah. I don't care. But I know a lot of my clients love. And look, there is absolutely a place for Roadside Collection and gathering things from Roadside Collection. It is awesome for our environment. It is awesome for landfill. It is great if you actually need and use the product. Nobody needs Ushies.
No.
Nobody needs Coles Minis.
No.
Nobody needs party favours.
No.
Nobody needs marketing paraphernalia.
Yes.
Nobody needs hand-me-downs from families necessarily.
That you don't ask for or want.
And that you don't need and use. Because Roadside Collection. We've spoken about this before. But if you see a wonderful bookcase and you pick it up on the Roadside Collection and you put it in your home and you use it, but you don't actually use it.
Oh, well, yes, not awesome.
Not awesome.
But if you use it, brilliant.
If you use it, it's awesome.
Yep.
Roadside Collection, as I said, keep it out of landfill, keep as much recycling. Let's recycle, reuse. Let's do our bit for the environment. But don't go and get something that you don't actually need from Roadside Collection.
And I think the impetus lies with the people that are manufacturing. So I think the Roadside Collection family hand-me-down stuff is different to acquiring new free stuff.
Yes.
New.
Yes.
Someone really struck a chord with me when he got home on Friday night, and I was like, somebody manufactured all this for a 4-hour period.
Yeah.
They literally, every bucket that went on a head is going in the bin.
Well, they have a recycle place so that they can reuse it and hand it out to people next time.
That's on your head.
Mm-hmm. Yep. But they can they can be reused. I'm not saying that they're good. They can be, and they can definitely be KFC should be recycling them.
But probably got a plastic lining on them and they can't.
Probably do.
So I just think there's this real burden that needs to be placed back on. Yes, it's placed on us because if we start saying no to stuff, people will stop manufacturing it. But
we can also be saying no to KFC.
Yeah.
For the bucket hats and marketing promotions. That's why, people love podcasts and love getting paraphernalia from podcasts, but I can not imagine us ever doing the Art of Decluttering clutter.
No. We've talked about it so many times. We're like, oh, could we do this? Could we do a keyring? Could we do...
No,
it's actually just going to end up as clutter.
We're producing clutter.
Yeah. We can't justify that. We do not want to manufacture new for no purpose other than advertising
ourselves.
Yeah, we don't do lettered flyer drops. We don't want to just create stuff to put... it's hard enough for us to have a book on the market.
Yes.
And knowing that that's going to be read and used but then sit on a bookshelf. And so I tell people all the time, once you're finished reading my book, pass it on to someone or donate it to your library. Like, don't let it just sit on your bookshelf.
Yeah.
I am not offended if I turn up knowing you have bought a copy and it's no longer in your house. I am not offended.
In fact, I can imagine that you would be excited that it's gone on to a new home.
Exactly.
That more people are learning about the art of decluttering and simply organised. Like,
so, yes.
Yes. And I think that's, we talked about a little bit about this with Claire Press about placing that burden back on the manufacturers and until manufacturers and businesses like ours, like we run a business, we would love to give you all a free pen if that served you. But we go into homes and we find 3,000 pens.
Marketing pens that are labelled with your bank's name and the hotel you stayed at.
Yeah. With all the big pens that you bought from Target because you thought you had no pens.
We've thought about doing a magnet that can sit on your fridge so that when you are getting overwhelmed, you just look at it and think, just call the Art of Decluttering girls. We know you have too many magnets on your fridge already.
We could do a tote bag.
Yes, we have talked about doing a tote bag.
But we know you already have so many green bags from Woolies and Coles that you don't know what to do with.
Yep.
So adding another tote bag that's advertising paraphernalia is not on our to-do list.
So you can see how our marketing and ethos have collided, and we're going with just things that we're not going to add clutter to your life.
Yes, and we want you to be really intentional. Like, the whole purpose of this episode today and all of our podcasts is to get you to think and to get you to question what our society is telling us. So our society tells us consume more, buy more, get more, be more. Everything is about more. And here at the Art of Decluttering, our purpose is to equip you to have less in your heads, hearts and homes. And we want you to be intentional in your living. That's what we want to transform the world through intentional living. And so part of that intentional living is actually questioning everything that the world is telling us, question what we say. Like, do you agree with us?
Love that. We question each other all the time. You might as well join in.
That's why we have Team Amy and Team Kirsty. And on this, we are in alignment.
We sure are, baby.
We are in alignment. Elliot, that was for you.
One of the good questions you can ask yourself when there is something free handed to you, whether it be a business card or a paraphernalia or something at the supermarket, or you see something on the roadside, is why are you accepting it? And why are you saying yes? Like, what in you? Is it because it's free? Is it because you're taking it out of obligation? There's someone handing things out and you don't want to have a conversation. You feel rude saying no, so you take one.
Is it because of your family history? Have you grown up in poverty, or have your parents grown up in poverty? Have you had that family history where you have been told to value everything and that everything costs money and that money is a finite resource, which it is, and there's nothing wrong. I'm not having a go at that.
But that can cause this.
But it can cause you to accept everything that is given to you and to say thank you to all the hand-me-downs, even though your kids don't like those clothes or you don't like those clothes. Like, we've been given hand-me-downs that have writing across the chest for Amelie, and they say things that aren't offensive, but we're just not a fan of. So we say thank you for the hand-me-downs because clothes hand-me-downs you don't get to check before you get given them, but we lovingly pass them on to other people. And so is it because you have a poverty mindset that you say yes to everything?
I've got a girlfriend whose in-laws, anything free they can't say no to. And they've passed that down to one of their grandchildren, and their grandchild, if there is something free to be collected, he will collect it. I'm talking walking into a real estate agent and taking one of every business card. You know when cafes have postcards?
Oh, yes.
He has to have one of every postcard and when you ask him why, he said, because it's free.
Yes.
Because it's free. They're not in poverty. because it's free. I just have this drive, this internal urge to take stuff that's free and, you know, build my little security nest around me.
Yeah, but again, that's like, to me, I go, that's also about teaching ourselves and educating ourselves on, is it really free? Because it is not free.
Talk about that.
It is not free. It costs you your time, your money, your headspace. You've got to think about how you're going to maintain it. We'll go into detail of all of these, but it actually costs, and for instance, in those postcards, it costs the earth.
Yes.
It's not just us, and it's not just the cost to us that we should be considering. It is the cost to the earth. And, you know, like we're getting ranty about Coles and Woolies putting out all these Ooshies and Coles minis that are not good for the planet and are despicable things.
Tell us what you really think, Kirst.
Will. And even if you're making paper products like postcards, they've got colour, you know, they've got dye, they've got film on it, they may not be recyclable, and they still take a long time to break down, even though they're natural products. So it costs money, it costs the business money and time. It often costs you an exchange of something. So you might have to exchange your email or your address or your time for something. So I think that we can teach our children, and we, you know, and this is part of our job, is educating other people and you all to start being really thoughtful and continue. I'm not saying to continue to be really intentional and thoughtful and questioning, like, what is this going to cost me? If I pick up something from Roadside, what is it going to cost me? You know how Amy is like larger than life on the podcast? Well, imagine having that in your home. It is phenomenal. She gets things done so quickly. She can come in and absolutely power boost any of your decluttering that you can do by yourself. You are going to do it 5 million times faster if you have Amy come alongside you to support, encourage, motivate, and keep you on track. So if you live in Melbourne or the greater Melbourne area, Amy is your girl.
So if you're ready to have a little bit of my decluttering magic in your house, email us at hello@theartofdecluttering.com.au. Send us a message on Instagram or Facebook. Any way you can get in contact with us, get in contact, because I want to come and I want to help you get freedom that you've been dreaming of.
Nobody gets into business to worry about how customers will find them online. That's why we created a new product for businesses called Digital Marketing Services. With help to build and host a website, you can worry about the right stuff. Get back to being that business with new Telstra Business Digital Marketing Services. Available from $60 months to months. Visit telstra.com/smallbusiness today.
All right, back to the show. I just had a thought of one of the freebie clutter things we've started saying no to. As a family, we do treats of Slurpees. We really love a Slurpee. And so sometimes if we're going on a long drive, we'll stop and we'll get 4, either from Macca's, because they actually do quite good ones, or from 7-Eleven. If you do Macca's drive-through and you get them, they give you the cup holder.
Yes.
So we always take the cups out and we keep our own straws. That's just the thing that we do now, is we have metal straws instead of taking the straws.
Yeah.
And we always give them...
some in my handbag.
Oh, awesome. We always give back the tray that the cups came in, because literally the use of that little tray is to get it from the window to 30 centimetres further into your car. And that's what it's produced for.
Which is useful in some places. Like,
yes, it's helpful to pass it over.
But it's also useful if you went out by yourself and got 4 Slurpees.
That's true.
Like, if you were taking them home. If baklava is being delivered in a tray.
We have baklava on the way, peoples. We've Uber Eats baklava for afternoon tea.
It has a purpose.
It is on the way.
But it doesn't have a purpose for you when you're all in the car for any further.
So they pass it, we take the drinks out, we hand it back and say, use this for the next person.
Yeah.
Just a quick thought I had.
Good. So let's talk about how it actually costs you. So is it really free?
It's never really free, is it?
No.
So, is it ever free? There's always some cost, isn't there? Even if it's environmental.
Yes, and that's what I was like. There's always an environmental cost.
Did you say always? I love it when you say always.
I know, it makes your heart happy.
It really does. Bit of black and white never hurt anyone. It actually has hurt a lot of people. Can I just clarify? Not being able to see the grey has hurt a lot of people, just to clarify.
Yes.
It's also your sanity.
Yeah.
Do you know how stressful it is for parents? I know you do. When you're getting all the freebie stuff, whether it be from a mainstream supermarket or whether it's something
Why
else
don't you
that's
say
coming
Coles and Woolies? What's wrong with...
Oh, I was just trying to shorten the... Or whether it's from like a Happy Meal or whatever they're called. I don't know what they're called. I don't know. Those meals that the kids get the toys with.
Yeah.
Again, freebie clutter.
What, and can I just... I know the answer to this, but what is the most decluttered toys that you have seen over the last couple of years? Woolies, Coles, McHappy Meals.
Yeah, all the time.
Because they don't last for their intended purpose.
Yeah.
But they last infinity.
Yeah, and I've heard Russell Howcroft, who is a advertising genius, and I really enjoy listening. Yeah, the Growing Project. I really enjoy listening to his point of view. I do not always agree with him, but I find him interesting. And he's like, it's genius because pester power is one of the greatest tools in marketing. So if your kid is desperately wanting the last thing that the supermarket's giving out, your Coles Little whatever, that is going to draw parents, and they are going to buy enough to spend $30 to get the chance. It's gambling for little kids. It's addictive. It's got that thrill. It's all the things. So yes, it's marketing genius, but it's costing everybody a lot.
Yes. So sanity.
Sanity. And can I say, not only do the parents feel bad when they're trying to find it, they feel bad for getting rid of it.
And it's really annoying too because parents feel bad when they don't buy into it. Like, I don't buy into that. I don't like, yeah.
There's no win.
There is no win because I feel bad as a parent not
restricting your children's
like,
childhood.
and like them not being able to swap things at school because they just never get it. But I don't feel bad like I feel bad on one hand because I'm shamed as a parent. Not really. You know what I mean.
I know what you mean.
But I don't feel bad because I'm like...
Mummy's on a soapbox.
Yeah.
She ain't getting down for no wishing.
And that's
gold or not.
I know. And that's not... I don't want you as our listeners to feel like we're shaming you.
No, but question it, Kev.
Yes,
that's what we want.
Yes.
There's no shame, but we want you to really think about why you're doing it.
Yes.
Can I give another example?
No.
Last week, so Coles have a promotion at time of recording where you get points for every dollar you spend. I don't know the qualification, but you get points and you can get free glassware. So you could get these little packs of 2 wine glasses or 2 beer glasses or 2, I don't even know what they are. There's 2 glasses in every pack. And the bottom of your receipt tells you how many you're able to, you pick it up and you take it. And the checkout lady the other day said to me, you've qualified to get 3 sets of glasses, so you can take 6. Which ones would you like? And I said, I'm not going to take any now because I need to go home and decide if I need them or not. And she's like, no, but they're free. I said, I know, but I don't know if I need them or not. I need to go home and see what wine glasses we do have as to whether, and she's like, but you can just take them now because you don't have to pay for them. She was
flabbergasted that you would say no.
Clearly not many people had said, no, I want to go away and think about that.
Yeah. I know what will be decluttering in 2020.
What's that?
Wine glasses.
Oh, for our clients. I thought you meant you personally.
No. Yeah, for our clients.
There's no good that comes from this. There really isn't. It's actually, we are frustrated. This is an episode of frustration.
Yes.
Because the answer is not within just the two of us. The answer is in us helping our community become aware and conscious and conscientious and being prepared to stand up and say no to Coles and Woolies and Macca's and your children and everyone that wants to give you just free stuff.
Yeah, like you can... What was I... You can just say no.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, we're going to get on to
let's get on to that.
alternatives,
Yeah.
but I just also wanted to talk about some of more of what it actually costs you.
Okay, yep.
So when you're going past, like, let's go back to Roadside Collections or hand-me-downs or, you know, so we did a whole episode called Offloading, when your family members, loved ones, friends want to give you stuff because they no longer need it and you feel obliged to take it for whatever reason. So it's a great episode. It's called Offloading. Go listen to it after this one. And when we talk about in that one as well, and it's applicable to Roadside Collection, is where is it actually going to live in your house? And so...
deciding that ahead of time.
And exactly, like the wine glasses that you just said, you had to go home and see if you had space for them and if you even needed them. Like, there's no point saying yes to Coles and taking home 6 wine glasses and then getting home and realising, actually, I've got exactly the same wine glasses or better quality.
Guaranteed better quality than what you're getting for free at the supermarket.
Yeah, at home. So where is it going to live when you get home? And I know we've spoken about this, but what is it actually costing the earth to get rid of it at the other end?
Yep.
Like,
the life cycle.
Yes, we do want to take things to Salvos and Vinnies and put them back into the marketplace so that other people can use them. Or, you know, Freebie, you know, free cycle.
Yep.
It doesn't have to cost anything. But it does cost our planet in the end. Like, there is a cost on the planet. And there's a cost on relationships when you're giving away your free stuff and you're giving or you're taking hand-me-downs from families. Our baklava has just arrived, so Amy and Jared are getting really excited, and we're hoping that Jared doesn't eat it all before we
He's doing
get
some
out there.
Elaine dancing from Seinfeld.
But is there an expectation of you that you're going to hold on to that stuff in, you know, and
then you've then got a responsibility to be mindful when you want to get rid of it later. Like, it's great that they've lent you the rocking horse, but do you have to make sure it goes back to a particular cousin at a particular time?
Yes.
Or are you free to put it out on the nature strip for someone else to get?
Which is, exactly what we talked about in offloading. But there's also the cost of the time, like taking your time to maintain it and clean it and think about it, like we've spoken about, and encouraging people to put it away. Like, if it is the Ushies and the Coles Minis, like, you've got to encourage your little people to put it away, and you've got to find space to put it, to organise it. You've got to, or like with Roadside Collection, have you got the time and space to create something new out of it? Are you going to upcycle it? Or is it, you know, and coming back to that, digging into yourself about why it is, like, why are you accepting it? Why are you saying yes to it? Like, is there that poverty mindset, or is there something else in you? And digging into that and figuring out for yourself why it is that you feel obligated to say yes to things and obligated to take free stuff. And why is it hard for you to say no, thank you? Because that's getting onto the alternative. How do we stop this cycle? And because realistically, Amy and I and all of our professional organising colleagues come into homes every single day, every single week, and see freebie stuff.
Yep.
And that is, I would say, a huge portion of the clutter. So we all have excess, and that is clutter, but that real clutter, like the whacking sticks from the BBL game.
Just sitting around,
Nobody
nowhere to
needs
live,
that.
nobody needs them.
That is clutter.
Yep.
So what's some alternatives?
I think you don't need to justify yourself, and you don't need to give the lady at the checkout a lecture. Like, I didn't give her a lecture, and you don't say, oh, no, I don't take these because these are bad, because they're not the ones making the decision. But just say, no, thanks. That's it. You literally don't have to say anything else. I've got a bag of clothes in the car for Lucy. I'll give them to you next time we catch up. You say, oh, no, thanks. Yeah, I'm sure there's someone else that needs them more than we do. We're fine at the moment. Yeah. You do not have to justify yourself. Just no thanks. Literally. Yeah. Here's a no thanks that I think people should get used to. When you buy a product like a home loan or a personal loan or a new life insurance policy, and you get all the marketing paraphernalia like the terms and conditions and the legal PD, whatever. No, thanks.
I can get that online.
When you're in the bank and they're trying to give you all that chunky stuff, no, thanks. I'll just have the one piece of paper that I need out of that massive portfolio. When you are selling your house with a real estate agent and they want to give you a whole heap of marketing stuff, no, thanks. I'll just have that one piece of paper that I actually need. Therein ends my sermon.
You can take photos of things instead. So if you're in a networking event like Amy and I go to with businesses and people want to give you their business card, say,
no,
awesome.
thanks.
No, thanks. Can I take a photo of it? And then you can keep it and give it to the next person.
Yep. Or can I put your details in my phone under accountant so that when I need to find you, I'm going to lose that business card?
Yeah. Or let's connect over LinkedIn so I don't need to do anything. I totally agree with you, Amy, that we all need to get used to that no is a complete sentence. Mm-hmm. And no thank you is even nicer. Complete sentence. But it's a complete sentence.
Yes.
Like exactly what you said. You don't have to justify it. If somebody questions you on it, you still don't have to justify it. Like
no thanks is enough.
You can just say no thank you.
Yep.
No, but why? And then if they say but why, then you can go into some of your reasons. Because that's what we want to encourage you to figure out what they are.
Yes.
Like we've given you a whole lot. No, it takes too much time for me to no, my kids are over this craze in 2.2 weeks.
Yeah.
So
and I'm sick of tidying up after them.
Yes. Or no, thank you. Oh, we've got plenty of size 10 clothes for Emily. Thank you, but no thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Like or hey, we're really into decluttering, so if you give us this stuff, it will probably end up in local binnies, so why don't you just take it there yourself? We're becoming minimalists and wearing one piece of clothing of item for the whole year.
So we'll be fine without yours. I think Freebie Clutter is one that I think we can encourage our community just to kind of sit with and be really conscious. Try the no thanks. Try really thinking when you're given something, is there something I don't need? Like we've gotten rid of plastic bags because you don't need them. Is there other things that you're being given that you don't need? Can you say no to receipts? That's freebie clutter. Can you say no to so many different things? I just can't even think of any more. But there are so many things. Start saying no, start practicing, and I think you'll find that the clutter is less in your home and therefore your mental load is less and you feel better and you don't have to tidy up after all this stuff that enters your house unconsciously.
Yeah, because it is about, and like I've said it before, I'll say it again, it is sitting with yourself in why you want to say yes to it. Like just sit in that moment and go, like, you know, Amy got the chance to take those wine glasses and she could have went, let me just think about it for a minute. And she could have, you know, the lady could have kept doing the checkout and Amy could have sat in it and going, why do I want to say yes to this? Like, and then say no at that point. If you haven't figured out what's going on with you, say no. Delay decision making. We're going to have a whole episode on delaying purchases. That's coming. But you can just say no at that point. And particularly like for the Coles Ooshies and the Woolies Ooshies, the Coles glassware and stuff, like you can come back to it. But you can sit and figure out what's stirring in me that I want to say yes. And like we've said, have those clear boundaries. Like remember this conversation that we're having so that when you want to say no, you say, no, thank you. And you figure out what your boundaries are and you can sit in those boundaries and feel comfortable that you're making the right decision for your unique family and your unique situation.
Excellent.
I think it's also really helpful to talk to your kids about all of this, like why it is, and help them to question the marketing.
Well, you can play the game with them where you, like I've talked about it before on the podcast where we used to play it with our kids, whether that was true or untrue about marketing. But you can get your kids to look at something that's free and say marketing or useful, and help them to decide so that they can be objective when they're making decisions, not make the emotive decision, which the marketers are
Wanting us
stirring up in them.
And even if it's useful, do we need it?
Yeah.
Because a pen is always useful. But if you've got 3,000 of them sitting in your junk drawer, they're not useful to you. So, and like we talked about, a tote bag is totally useful. A magnet is totally useful. There's lots of items, and, businesses are becoming more and more savvy to producing useful marketing. And so I think it's even going that one step forward. Like, do we even need this? How many of these do we already have at home? So anyway, we hope that this has been a interesting topic for you, and you can go and look around your home now and have a look at all the freebie clutter that you can see and start being really thoughtful and intentional about what you say yes to, and sit with yourself and sit with that uncomfortable feeling and figure out what's really going on.
So we've got a review that we want to read out. It's from Apple Podcasts USA. It's a 5-star review by Dgeve titled, "What I Didn't Know I Needed." I recently realised how much guilt and overwhelm I feel about my house. This podcast has helped me not only with the practical tips for getting my house organised, but also the encouragement and comfort I need to hear. I'm not alone in my overwhelm, and my problems are solvable. Just discovered this podcast yesterday. Awesome. And have been binging ever since. Thank you. We want to encourage you to rate and review our podcast, whether you're on Apple Podcasts Canada, New Zealand, the UK, Australia, Nigeria, Argentina, wherever you're listening from. Rate and review, because that really helps us to reach more listeners with the good news of decluttering. Thank you for the review. Thanks for tuning in this week, and we'll see you next week.
Bye. Thanks for joining us.
If you've learnt something awesome today, we'd love you to leave us a review on iTunes or Facebook so others can find our podcast too.
Don't forget, you can see the show notes in your podcast app or over at our website, artofdecluttering.com.au. So if there's anything you want more info on, check it out there.
If you'd like to join our supporter community, you can do so over at patreon.com/theartofdecluttering.
We hope you have a great rest of your day
and enjoy the freedom.